costs. Because Etisalat is a Pakistan ISI front company. And Telenor is a company which uses liberally Chinese People's Army's produced telecom equipment, which can double for cyber warfare. So if they put towers all over India, with the help of the equipment of Telenor, and India and China have a border conflict or a war or whatever, all our computers can be made to fail. So therefore, the Home Ministry advisory was rejected. I mean, was ignored. Now, I made a big furor before going to the Supreme Court. So Raja then notes in a file note that, why is everybody blaming me? I was asked by Chidambaram to do this. I've got it with me. That's why I'm so sure that Chidambaram is... Nowadays they don't call it Tihar jail, they call it Club Tihar. And there's a lot of sauna there because there's no air conditioning, so you sweat there. Now, they also say that now they are serving masala dosa and idli and all that. I'm just waiting when they start serving pizza also. So now you see, one is that Etisalat. Not only that, the Home Ministry advisory says, and by now Chidambaram has become Home Minister. Home Ministry advisory says that the MD of the Indian branch of Etisalat, Shahid Balwas, is an agent of Dawood Ibrahim.
Yeah, right. We read that.
And everybody in Bombay knows it. It's not a secret. He has 6 corporate jets. And one strip in Palanpur in Gujarat, where there is no monitoring. So he plane takes off for Dubai and comes back for Dubai, no checking. Air Force can knock it down, but Air Force has been told, no, you are not to touch his planes. So look at the amount of the collusion that has taken place, all for money. Your national security has been totally been sabotaged for the sake of money. So Etisalat's Indian company is called Etisalat DB because DB and Etisalat, DB Reality and Etisalat merged, and therefore they got. The sum total of the bribe is not 1,76,000 crores. That is the loss of revenue, potential revenue. The bribe amount I have estimated at 60,000 crores. And it was distributed, and this Raja himself told me, between himself. He said, I got the least. So he says he got only 3,000 crores. Only. Considering he was coming 15 years ago on a cycle to the DMK headquarters, 3,000 crores is a lot of money. Then he says that 60% went to Sonia Gandhi. 60% of 60,000 is 36,000 crores. Then he says, so you take 3,000 crores plus 36, 39. What is remaining is 21. Of the 21, 5,000 crores went to Chidambaram. And Karunanidhi got 16,000 crores. Because you saw that chart, he's got a big family, so he should get it. He's got 3 wives and all that. So anyway, this was the situation. Now you can see with this kind of money how much impact it can create in your economy, in your elections, and so on. I'm glad this time in the Tamil Nadu election, unfortunately there was no alternative ready. We could have had alternative, I couldn't. It need about 2 years to build an alternative in Tamil Nadu, which is neither ADMK or DMK. But for that you have to devote 2 years sitting in Tamil Nadu. But anyway, that will happen in the future. But the people decided that DMK has to be defeated. I did put up few candidates, we got lots of votes, but we couldn't win any seat. We got 6,000, 7,000 votes. It's quite a lot for an assembly constituency, standing alone. But the fact is that the people had made up their mind. So I mean, I'm telling you, this despondency should go. People do react. And they took money from Karunanidhi's party and voted against Karunanidhi. And they voted in, almost in a typhoonic way. I remember I was driving from Salem to Coimbatore in the campaign, and we were passing through a purely rural area. And we, of course, because of the LTT reasons, I get a huge security convoy in front of me and back of me. One old lady was waving for me to stop. She's standing all alone. So I made our people stop the car, and I asked her. She asked me, in Tamil, she asked me, "You're Subramaniam Swamy?" I said, "Yes." She said, "Don't let that 2G go. All must be sent to jail," she said. I said, "Do you know what 2G is?" She said, "That I don't know, but something terrible has happened. And it's all been done by Tamilians. That is a big shame for us." So that was the spirit. So what happened is, this matter then began. I wrote a letter to the PM saying, "Please give me sanction to prosecute Raja." Now, there was a question raised about this Jan Lokpal bill. The only thing in that bill which I have considered of any value, for everything else the present laws are sufficient. But there is one thing there, and that is the establishment of an independent prosecution commission, which will not require sanction. Under the present Prevention of Corruption Act, if you want to prosecute a minister, then you have to have the permission of the Prime Minister to do so. Otherwise, if a person is not a minister or a public official, I can just walk into a magistrate's court and say, "Here's my petition, here are the facts, I want a case registered," and prosecution launched. Or you can go to a police station and ask an FIR. FIR means only investigation. But if you want prosecution to start, then you can go straight to the court and do it for crimes committed by ordinary people. But if there's a public servant, you need permission to prosecute him. The original idea was that people should not harass public officials, so therefore there must be a substantive case, and therefore there must be some material, and therefore there should be sanction. That's how it originally started. But now it has become, well, they don't act at all. For example, the law says that the sanction should be given within 3 months. And I wrote to the Prime Minister. For 1.5 years he did not reply. I wrote him 5 letters. Finally I went to the Supreme Court and said the Prime Minister is not doing his duty. So I want the court to direct it, to give me the power, authority to file the case. The court has that power, and I asked for the court. The court said, "Well, we are also shocked that you have written these letters with so much substance and data." So they issued for the first time in the history of the world that to the Prime Minister, they issued a notice to the Prime Minister, file an affidavit, not make a statement. File an affidavit means he has to swear. That means you don't believe him, that you want him. It is a great thing. Now, if I had made an issue of it afterwards, Manmohan Singh would have to resign. But I said, no,